Welcome and good evening, everybody, to the Full Sail University online classes. My name is Steve Kane, and once again, I am here with the online audio workstations class here for Full Sail University. It is week 2, June the 7th, and just a little after 7 o'clock. It's been a boomy and rainy afternoon here in sunny Central Florida. Hope it has been a great day with you. We've had a great week here. Got a wonderful live studio audience. Duke is in the house. Ed is here. James dropped by. Jeremy was rolling in. John SC came in. John SE was here. Jonathan was rolling by. Rachel decided to come in, and Ramel is here. Welcome, everybody. Make sure you pull up and get a front. No, y'all come in and get the front row seats. None of that sitting on the middle of the back rows. There you go. I'm not gonna tell the archive people who was sitting in the back, but you know who you were. Come on up close. So everybody ready to give me the double R's for ready to rock and roll, or if you want to, you can give me this cool little guy. I figured this one out a while ago, where you go like bam, 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 like this for rock and roll. Wow. Or I guess maybe a smaller M would be more appropriate like that. That looks more like rock and roll. There you go. So, thank you, Jeremy and John and Jingleheimer Schmidt, Romel and then, yeah. All right, how you like my rock and roll fingers? You guys missing this chat window are missing it. So, as always, it's Thursday night, so what that means is that when we jump into week dos, which is just Spanish for 2, we are going to go over our Pro Tools assignment tonight. Now, remember, this Pro Tools assignment is one that you're going to do exactly like we've given you in the directions. And then that way you are able to know if you did it exactly right or exactly wrong. And then, as we fully expect you to take these types of exercises and then apply them as you're working in your remix in a very subjective way, where you do have lots of freedom to place things where you want them. So tonight's objective, we're going to go into some advanced editing and kind of show you what's happening, like when somebody hires you as a remixer or something like that, and you want to start changing things, but you don't want to have 20 gazillion tracks. So we're going to really dive into playlists tonight and get an idea of a new flow, of a new workflow, if you will, and really getting to do that. And you got to do these exactly as you see here. Otherwise, it's going to be a world of trouble and get you that. But remember, who wants to tell me why I like to do a save as, the real world reason that I did a save as? Now, when you get this, by the way, you'll get the guidelines, and you'll get this PTA2 zip file, which I downloaded earlier tonight for your viewing pleasure. And it came with this session folder that contained the session file, PTA2. And then I went ahead and gave a save as. Now, nobody has answered me yet. Y'all better quit making sandwiches and come over here and answer me. Tell me why I do a save as. And so in the, I'm going to wait till I see these answers start pouring in about like, oh, I know he told me to save as, and I get different versions. And then if I mess up, and then maybe I can get back. Yeah. If I don't like what I did, I can always go back here and start again, right? And start getting back to where I started. So I went ahead and downloaded this zip file for you, as we see right here. I expanded it, got our session folder, and I went ahead and did our save as. So we've already got Steve Kane, PTA2. And if I needed another restart point, just like John S. and James C. said, I could start over and go through this. Now, let's remember our expectations. I do not want you trying to follow along tonight, because I like to pause for the cause, talk a lot about the fundamentals of Pro Tools, and it's best to just kind of sit back and relax the first time you watch the archive, or if you're here in the live class. I do expect everything to make sense, so if something does not make sense, promise me that you will ask a question if you're in my live class. And if you are in the archive and something's not making sense, make sure that you reach out to one of us. So, without any ado, let's do this thing. Whoop, whoop. All right. So, we got our little PDF here, and it told us to do our save as, so we already did that. And this is really getting us more with like complex editing skills tonight. And as I said previously, late assignments are never going to be accepted unless you talk to us first. Wait a minute, because everybody wants to hear this. Late assignments. Oh, come on, that big man. Late assignments will. Oh, come on. Where's my delay at? Did we not send it? Oh, will not be accepted. All right, so everybody cool with that? It's just more fun to say late, using the delay. Y'all know that. It's always more fun when the delay starts happening. All right, so let's look at these playlists tonight and really dig into these. So let's start off. You did your save as, right? And I mean, no, not you didn't do it yet because you're not. I told you the first time you're not going to follow along. So I did a save as, and then I want you to just notice that is put back into your PTA2 folder automatically. Please give us your name correctly. That is the silliest way to lose points, by leaving that copy of on there or giving me your last name first. All right. So number 2, it says locate the audio files for import. Now, remember that we have 3 different ways that we could import tracks. Now, I showed you a couple the other day, and it says import the file name Funkbass into a new track. Now, I want to show you that, you could do it this way. You could go to, that's grandma's way, right? You could go like that and Shift Command I and get the import window, right? And we have provided those files for you, and it is labeled audio files for import. Now, if you'll notice, you got a funky guitar and a funky bass. And we could import it there, right? And get our 4, and then tell it to convert it, and tell it we want it there. And then it automatically says we'll put it there, and we open it up and it says put a new track right there. Right? We've got all that way, but who wants to learn a new way? Right? I showed you the drag and drop method over here, but watch the drag and drop method now. Check this out. Not only could I drag it to the clips list, but since it wants a new track, look at this. Watch this. I'm going to come down here. Watch this. I'm just going to drag it right down here, all the way to the front. Psh, bam. Funk bass. Bam. And looky. 3 fingers down. Oh, I should have asked you what that quick key was. I should have asked you. Let's put these 2 away for a minute. All right, so we got our 3 fingers down. And remember that I put a submaster here. Just so I've got control over everything. You're not going to have a submaster, so don't worry about that. Everything's going to be fine. But a couple columns that you might not be seeing are the inserts and sends, right? So you can go here under the drop-down menu and get your inserts and sends. I also want to see my I.O. And remember, this is also a replica of what you see up here in the view menu. We could say edit view and show I.O. All right, so I can quickly just take this funk bass and throw it over to that submaster that we've got going on. There we go. Oh, and look, nobody else is going there. I thought everybody else was already. So let me show you how to do multiple ones at one time. We're going to hold down Shift and Option. And now, when I click here, because I've already done it once, look, now it's created a bus here named Submaster because of that way that I did track a minute ago. And I'll talk more about that next week as we get into our routing. Notice since I held down Shift and Option, all 3 of those tracks went by Submaster. And all that is just so I can pull it down a little bit as it plays. Let's listen. Oh yeah, that thing is loud, so I can pull it down. That's what I did. You heard it here first on Steve Kane Live with Audio Workstations. All right, so we got this funky bass, right? Come on. Come on. Man, all right. So we got our funky bass, and it landed on a new track. And so I showed you 2 ways that you could get it on a new track now. Have I got any questions about that? You could go up into the import audio and make sure you choose track, or we could just drag it to a new track. Now, who remembers what we had to do special in order to make that dragging possible? This dragging was made possible by the preferences. Anybody remember that? Them preferences? Sorry, I'm slipping back into my Nashville accent. Preferences, right? Under my processing, automatically copy, convert. So that's what made that possible, all right? So make sure that you got that going on. Talking about going on. Has anybody seen Stacy's Mom? Oh my gosh. Did you see how I slipped that 80s joke right in there? Whew. Now, but seriously, any questions about what I did to just drag and drop that bass in there? Make sure it's over starting at measure 1. You can see that. All right. Well, if y'all aren't going to laugh at that joke, I'm going to tell you something even worse than. Have you ever heard of an anti-joke? That's, just intentionally meant not to be funny, right? Okay, so here is anti-joke number 1. Get ready. Knock, knock. It's not Michael Jackson. Oh, boy, that's anti-joke number 1. And everybody is like, woo! They're going, woohoo! Somebody's saying like, dude, that's too soon. It's too low, man. Dude, shots fired, Michael Jackson, like he can shout back. Boom, that was anti-joke number 2. Oh, man. Oh, that was like a cross between Andrew Dice Clay and like Star Wars, like boo, or Star Trek, boo. Yeah, see, Prince would have been too soon. Now, I totally dig that, Tyrone. You're right. Prince would have been too soon. All right. Now, let's jump back into this little red Corvette and beat it. See what I did there? Prince and Michael Jackson all in one sentence. All right, so we got our bass printed in there. All right, we're good. Everybody learning? So, now what we're going to do is we're going to create a duplicate playlist. Now, here's where everybody that doesn't watch the video is going to screw up here. But let me tell you, Brantley, Duke, Ed, James, Jeremy, John, Jonathan, Rachel, Romel, Summer, and Tyrone, at least I know, and anybody that watches this video are not going to make this mistake. So let's look at this. Duplicate playlist. All right. So here's the mistake that they're going to make. Because homeboy Steve has always told you, hey, when you're trying something, try right-clicking, right? Because right-clicking can find everything. So on the clap track, we're going to right-click, right? Oh, come on. Let's just go ahead and copy this right here. I'm going to just highlight it and copy it so we can use it. So on that clap track, a lot of people like to write and then they see duplicate, right? Or duplicate if you like sounding fancy, right? So when they hit that, look at this. It doesn't say duplicate playlist, though. It says duplicate track, and that's where people are going to mess up because, look, it's doing everything. So we do not want that. What we do want is to get this little arrow right here and then go to duplicate. Duplicate. Sounds like a villain, right? And then, look, name for the duplicate playlist. Holy cow, I can just hit Command V. Look at that. Oh, I don't want that little thing in there, though. Take that out. Clap step 3. Hit AUK. All right. So now what this is going to give us then is after we do some editing to this, we're going to have a choice. We can say, hey, producer, do you like step 1 or do you like step 3? Which one do you want to do? Because I'm giving you choices because that's how cool I am. All right. So duplicate playlist right there under the down arrow. So now that we've got clap step 3, let's go see what they want us to do with it. So we're going to put ourselves in grid mode here. And we want 16th notes. Now, does anybody remember the quick key that's going to get me in grid mode here? I know I'm already in here, but let's pretend I wasn't. Does anybody remember what modifier key I would hold down because these are on the left? Right? So which modifier is on the left? That's right. No, I said left. Option, and then we go option 1, 2, 3, and option 4. Oh, it's not responding because it's not there. Option 1, 2, 3, and option 4 for grid. Now, with this in grid mode, what we're going to do is we got to make sure that we're in the 16th note grid, right? Now, if you do not see note values here, you might be looking at a different ruler. Right, so the ruler, if you're looking at like feet and frames, you're not going to see as the 16th note. So you got to make sure you're looking at the bars and beats to get the 16th note. You know what I mean? Right? Very good. Very, very, very good. So when it takes, say, tick, late, clap, right? Or you take that. And we got our 16th notes in duplicate. And we're going to grid mode with the resolution of 16 notes. We're going to copy this one at 32480 and paste it at 33480 and 33720, bruh. All right, so check it out. 32480, let's do it. Now, who remembers when I'm here the quick way to use this selection tool up here? Who remembers that quick key? Who's going to be first? I'll give you a hint. You can edit in a flash. Edit in a flash. It is first with the / followed by summer, followed by third for show. Come on, who's going to be third? Who's going to be third? Who's going to be third? Come on. Oh, look at that. It was almost a tie between James Coleman flew right at the last second and before Jeremy Francisco, which is the most fun word in the world to say, Francisco. Do you know what movie that came from? It's so fun to say. Francisco. All right. That was on Elf. Elf is the great movie with that. All right, so we got our 16th notes, and so with the / we said we could do this, and if we're on a 16th notes, check it out. If I've got, let me get my keyboard up here. So / if we know we're at 3 and then sideways arrow 2, I've got a couple things I could do. I could either go in and fill in the end, or I could go fill in the length and tell it I want to just select a 16th note. And then it does that. Look at that. Holy cow. Right? So, quick key for copy, right? We're going to hit C, just like that. Now, it didn't make the sound. That was me. So, if y'all want to make that clicking sound, you can go like that. And where does it want us to paste it? It wants us to paste it at 32480. So now what would I use to highlight my playline area? It's not the /. What is it? Remember the star would show you how to tell you where to go? And what looks like a star? That's right. Your friendly neighborhood asterisk. Brought to you by James and Tyrone. All right, 3. Let's just hit sideways arrow. Pop, pop, pa-doo, pop, pop. It said 480. Pa-da-pa-pa-doo, pop, boom. And so I just hit there, and we hit V. I just want to double check. I want to make sure. It did say 32480, right? Yeah. Copy the clap at 32. Oh, no, 33480. See? 33480. See, that's why I like to double check. 33480. 3. Come on. 480. I got fat fingers tonight. They are like going all over the place. So now we'll just hit V. Boom. And notice it put it right there at 33480. And then it also said 720, right? So we're going to hit asterisk again and then just hit the sideways arrow. And then you can hit 720. Now remember, these have to be completely accurate. Let's hit V again and just paste it right there. So let's make sure it was 33720. Yeah. So let's listen. Let's listen what we did here. Whoa! What happened? I hit the E button and it went to a zoomed in location. All right, so let's listen to what this clap did. Clap, clap. So we got this little thing right here. Oh, yeah. Funky, funky, funky. Listen to that clap getting funky. So now, let's go back to our playlist conversation. So now you're able to say, hey, Mr. Producer, do you like this clap? And as I did as my third try, listen for the clap right here, funky clap. Or do you like version 1 that has a less funky clap? And see how useful that is now you don't have to have other, and so as you're writing, even in your remix, if you're not sure what to do, you can just have another playlist and try doing some different edits, and that way you're never locked into one. Everybody say OC for oh cool. Oh my gosh. So, or give me a question about it. Have you got a question about that? So that's what the playlists do. Yeah, it gives us weight, because then I don't have to have like so many clap tracks and mute all but one of them. It's like, do you like this one? Or let me mute this one. So, I can just go right here. Now, and then a real world scenario, I probably wouldn't label it like 3 or 4. I might label it like clap off beat, clap on beat, or something like clap on, clap off. Hold it, wait a minute. That was the clapper. Oh, man. I tell you what, you got more dad jokes per minute than any other class that you can go to. Let's jump down to number 4. So for the playlist that we created in step 3, we're going to use grid mode again with that same resolution, so don't change it. All right, let's copy the clap at 4-2, and we're going to go paste it a couple places. All right, so 4-2. So remember, we can now hit /4 sideways arrow 2, and then when we hit / again, we can either decide that we want it. Let's just go down and do it this way. Since we did the length last time, we'll do the 480 this time, right? And so we got that. So they want us to copy that, so I copy it. Hit C. Boop. Now, notice how I did the boop sound? Pro Tools doesn't do that. So if you want to hear boop. Let's do this. Let's put it at beat 4, and then 240, and then 720. All right? So let's go to beat 4. So *4 sideways arrow 4. Paste. V. Boom. All right? Look at this. *. Boom, boom. 240. By the way, that boom, boom was the sideways arrow. Boom, boom. Boom. Paste it. Bam. Now watch this. And 720. Look. Hold it. Undo that. I typed it wrong. I didn't know what I was typing. 720. And now when I hit paste, it's like that. But it held over. And it's not good like that. So, maybe what we can do is fix it. Jenny doesn't like it going over. So check it out. Get my trim tool. And trim that puppy back. All right? Everybody cool with that? Now listen. Oh, yeah. Here's a... All right? Everybody cool? Now, so ba-da-pa-pa-pa-da-pa. I do not want to see it hanging over. All right? I want it to be exactly, if you got this selector, right? How many clicks do I need to get all of this selected? Right? Remember, 1 to place it, 2 to grab the clip, and then 3 to grab all of them there. So I want that exactly 4. So if you don't trim that out, you don't trim that back, Guess who's gonna get it wrong? Right? So make sure you trim that back for me. All right. Now let's do this. Everybody's good out there? Any questions about simple copy and paste? Now everybody should be good at this point. I really want you focusing on trying to use those asterisks and the semicolons to go ahead and do your editing, because that makes it impossible to mess up. Now, granted, somebody saw me type in, 740, what are you trying to do? Right? So, now, somebody's asking about semicolon. What semicolon does is go down, right? And then P goes up. P and semicolon go up and down if you wanted to do that kind of stuff. All right. Great quick key question. All right. So now we're going to create another duplicate playlist for each track in the session. Each track in the session? You mean we got to do this all those times? Who knows of a way to do something to all the tracks at the same time? You're like going, dude, man, this guy asked so many questions. I'm trying to make a sandwich. But remember, I told you this one. I know I told you it last week. I even did it earlier today. What am I going to do to hold down when I do this? And let's copy this, that extension. Let's copy that. What can I do? What can you do with the Sunday bar? Right? I'm going to hold all of these, right? I'm going to hit shift. Boop. Now, I'm going to hit. Nobody's answered me yet. Command D would duplicate, right? Shift and option. So watch this. Shift and option. So now when I go to duplicate, watch. Bam. Everybody gets duplicated. Got to keep it duplicated. All right. So now check it out. So that was shift and option together, right? Because you've got the option to shift all of the things that you want to at the same time. That's how you're going to remember that. Or you got the option to shift everything. Now, it wants us to add that extension. Now, so I could right-click and go to rename. That's Grandma's way of doing it, right? We could double-click right here on the track. And then what I'm going to do, check this out. I could click right here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the left arrow instead, and then I'm just going to hit Command-V. Right? Now what I'm going to do, instead of coming down here and click next, does anybody remember how to do it the quick key way? I think I told you this last week. I'll wait for a second and see if you know. I'll give you a hint. It's command with something else. Like you want to go down to the next track. So command down arrow. Right? Now, since this one is already named step something, let's go ahead and get rid of that step. And we'll name it there. All right, command down arrow. Boom. Step 5, command down arrow. Step 5, command V. Oh. All right, so now I've got all these. So, clap step 5. Oh, you know what? Make sure that you take off these names, right? I wasn't paying enough particular attention to the names. So make sure that you take all of those funky bass names off, right? So we can do this. There we go. And so let's hit command up arrow, see if there's any. Yep, there was another one we got to take off. Jeez. Steve's having to take them all off. Oh, look, I hit shift and now it's percent. That's funny, Steve. All right. So, I think that was the only one. I think the other two look good. Oh, no, kick was as well. Command up. Oh, you're going to do that to me? Fine. I'll just double click it right there. All right. Hey, do you know how squids go into battle? Well armed. Oh, jeez. All right, so what are we going to do on step 5? I think we are going to, so we noticed the note below. We're going to go to shuffle mode. All right, now first I'm going to show you why this difference between shuffle mode, why we're going to shuffle mode. So we want to select all the clips from 1 to 3. So we got 2 bars here, and then we're going to duplicate it 2 times, and now it should span 8 bars. All right, look what happens if we're not in shuffle mode. If we left our grid mode and we selected 1 to 3, we went /1//3, enter. See how quick that was? And it said duplicate twice. Now, what you're going to notice is that, see all of my vary speed right here? All of my vary speed stuff? Watch what happens to it if I'm in grid mode. It's just going to, when I hit Command D, that's my favorite rapper right there, man. It's going to overlap it. Bam. See? 1, 2. And then when I check it, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't span 8 measures. It only spans 6. Right? So Command Z, right? Undo, undo. So make sure you're in shuffle mode because that's going to shuffle in time. And what you're going to see is as I duplicate this, these are going to scoot down. Watch this. Command D. Bam. And look, see? It scooted vary speed down there. Watch this. Command D. Boom. You thought I was going to say bam again, didn't you? All right, so now let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, which is just Spanish for 3. And now I've got 8. You know what? I really think we need to start adding some more French numbers in our talk here. So it does span 8 bars, and we are winners. Let's listen. Oh, I got my remix jamming on step 5. I got me 8 bars, and now I'm coming alive. I still got my vary speed at the end, 'cause I was in shuffle mode, my friend. Oh my gosh. I swear we just made that up. Flowing with Homeboy Steve. All right, but is everybody cool? All right, so does everybody, and I mean everybody, does anybody have a question about that difference that being in shuffle mode would have made? See how it inserted time, right? That's the big thing right there. The others just go over. And paste over it. And this one actually inserted it. Okay, so let's start here. So let's say you're on tour with somebody, right? We were setting up the Mary J. Blige tour, right? And so they said, all right, when I go to different cities, I want to say hello to them, but I don't want to have the same set list every night. So what they would do is they would take the intro of whatever song was first, and they would put it in shuffle mode and duplicate it 3 or 4 times so she could walk out and say, "Hi, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. What's up? Glad to be here." You know, and then they start 4-1-1, you know? So it's all cool like that, right? So we're in shuffle mode. Well, if you don't have any questions for me, guess what? I've got a question for you. Do you know why the sand is wet? Because the seaweed. Oh my gosh, that one is just too corny. Oh my gosh. It's like we are in a field that's so corny. Oh, Lordy. That's step 5. You know what that means? Whoa, we're halfway there. Now y'all's turn. Whoa, living on a prayer. Somebody's like, I don't get that joke, man. All right. Let's get some more Duplicate playlists coming on in the track session and the extension step 6. All right. Command C for each track below, right? So we're going to, let me ask you again. Now, what key am I going to hold down? So as I hold down Shift and select everybody, that I can duplicate everybody at the same time. What 2 keys? Because I have the option to shift them together. I don't know why it's fun to sound like Connery when you say option, but he's like, option. I got the option to take out the Red October. And now I'm mixing Sean Connery and Schwarzenegger. I've got the option, don't you know? All right, option to shift. Duplicate. See, we got to have fun during these class times. Oh my gosh, what is that? That is Homeboy Steve forgetting to turn down his cell phone. during the callback. But if you're wondering, dude, where did he get that awesome ringtone? That was me, bro. That's my own one. All right. So let's get step 6 going on. So shift and option. So we're going to go get a new duplicate playlist. Oh, and we're already there. We duplicate the playlist now, and I can tell because see how it gives me a little behind it, right? So now I can go over here and just go, nope, you going to be step 6. That's right. Ooh, we don't want double dashes. Double dashes. All right, so command down arrow, just like that. How you like that? Boom. And some of you want to just hit down, hit the delete button. You kind of like that, and it's boom, boom, boom. But because they're like, dude, guess how many people listen to your webcast? And I'm like, a whole lot more when I say stupid stuff. Because, dude, if you think you're gonna be able to like watch your favorite cat videos on YouTube and me at the same time and do well, you got another thing coming. All right, so we did that very well, but what in the world do they want us to do for step 6? They want us to consolidate all the playlists from bar 1 to bar 9. Now, all the consolidated playlists should span 8 bars. All right, let's talk about consolidate. Here comes story time with Uncle Steve. I mean, Homeboy Steve. Because, Uncle sounds a little creepy, So, who's ready for story time as we learn about this? Okay, so when we look in the edit menu, we've got heal and consolidate. And heal and consolidate are two very similar creatures. Okay, and I'm not going to mess this up, but I'm going to talk to you just about heal. Now, if you got two things together, like right here and right here, I could heal those together because they're touching and they're exactly never moved. Even if I moved both of them together over here, because they are relatively where they used to be, still touching, I could still heal them. It's kind of like, has anybody ever had a scar? Right. By the way, I just got my purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu this Tuesday night, and a couple years ago, somebody went and sprawled on me and didn't have a mouth guard in, and put their teeth in my head. I had to get 5 staples, and if the doctor didn't line up the 2 flaps on my head exactly right, I'd have a big scar, right? And so it has to heal, right? So, and then I want you to try this on your own, right? So if you, congratulations on getting hit. So, if I spread them apart, like if I just, and I'm not going to do it because I don't mess up the session, but if I just move this like 1 or 3 samples off and tried to start healing it, things are going to mess up. Actually, you can get away with 1 sample, but if you go like a bar away, you're not going to be able to heal it anymore, just like a bad scar, So what you would do instead, if you can't heal, you would consolidate, right? Now, here's the cheesy way I remember consolidate. Is I've got the option to shift at least 3 or more things together. Now, it works with 2, but 3, shift option 3. And then I can get everybody together, and it's going to fill everything. Now, here's the reason why you want to do this. Musicians and singers, we're all very finicky people, and nobody likes to know. Here's the real-world example. I'm working and they take a lunch break, and I take the vocalist and I chop it up a bunch and I move some things around and stuff like that. And when I came back, I did not consolidate it, so it looked very much like something like this, very chopped up and lots of clips everywhere instead of one nice big take. And they asked me, they're like, what happened? I was like, I was just fixing some of the levels. And they're like, oh, I thought I did good. And I totally lost confidence. They did not give me a good take at all. So what I should have done is, after all my edits, done what I'm going to ask you to do, which is consolidate. So watch, 1, 2, 3, right? So I get 1 through 8. There's my 8 bars. I double check myself, and shift option 3, right? Option to shift more than 3 things together. And look, it's going to rewrite the file. Now, this is something I want to point out. Notice that it rewrote the file and gave me a whole nother file here, right? And if you looked in your audio files folder, it's going to populate that as well. Check it out. See, now I've got a whole now kick step 6, right? Because remember, it names it the file name. So that's kind of cool. And now it gave me everything all in one. So the easy way for you guys to do, right, is you can say, you can click 3 times. You can shift click, right? And then when you consolidate, you got to select it to affect it. Now, see, on something like that, I didn't have to hold down Shift and Option because I got to select it to affect it. So now this is looking good. Everybody's 8 bars. It's got to be exactly 8 bars or you will get it wrong. So with that being said, that's the reason that we generally like to consolidate is after we do all of our editing, then it just appears one nice big file here. So Jonathan writes in, I don't know if I've answered this before, but if you have on the break, like on the first bar where we've deleted a section, can you fuse those, keeping the break that you wanted from week 1? And that's a great question. Yeah, totally, dude. What you would do is you would shift click all the space in, but you would do this, you would double click, and then you would hold down shift and double click the empty space, and it would add on to it, and then you just consolidate that. And that's what I would do. I think you'll see me doing it some in week 2 on Tuesday, and then you'll see me doing it more on week 3 on Tuesday. Let's keep on answering questions. Somebody writes in saying, will I keep losing points for my mistakes from week 1 if I don't correct them? The neat thing about that is we don't give you your file back. So when you open up week 2, although it does appear exactly like a correct week 1, it is not the way that you turned in week 1. It is the way week 1 should have been turned in. So even if you really messed up week 1 and you messed up some points, those will never carry over to week 2. I'm going to keep on grading these just as we did, so because we gave you that correct one. And that person's going, thank goodness, man. I don't want to keep getting them wrong. Awesome. Any other questions while we are paused for the cause? All right, so we've got Duke is coming in. We tried the decimal point shortcut to taught us, and it didn't work. How do I get that to work? All right, so remember that has to be on the 10 key numeric pad over on the right-hand side. If you've got just the small laptop keyboard, that is not going to work. And I apologize for it, but that's why I tell you that if I had 60 or 50 bucks burning a hole in my pocket, I'd go buy an extended keyboard, wireless maybe, and that way you can get those cool functions like the decimal point functions. All right, great question, brought to you by Duke. All right, any others? All right, well, I've got one for you then. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. You exactly have to have. So get the numeric pad. Now, I'm not sure. I think they fixed the thing where if you got a separate numeric pad, the two will work in tandem. But I went ahead and just bought the one big keyboard with everything in one. So, all right, cheesy joke for you. How do billboards talk? Sign language. Ha ha ha. All right, so we consolidated. All right, so let's put in some effects, man. We're going to insert the air filter gate. Doesn't that sound like a villain? Filter gate, I will get you. Right? So, when we, let's get the filter gate on the bass track, and then we'll find evolving texture. All right, so, now, the only places that I can put effects, and I'm going to really dive into effects next week, all right? So, to keep it short and simple, this is going to be a dynamic effect because I'm putting it right straight on the track, right? And so a filter is something that I generally would put straight on a track and not blend in like a reverb or a delay. So we're going to go down to our modulation and get air filter gate. Bam! All right, so somebody is writing in. Let's see. What is your favorite band? Oh, I thought, what's my favorite band? I used to love Rush and Led Zeppelin, and Run DMC. No, what is my favorite brand for hardware and why, if I may ask? And we will talk about that after the video. There are great pieces of hardware. I will filter you to nothing, is what Filter Gatte says. Let's listen how it treats the bass, though. Very good. Ooh. Look, command click on that. Command clicking bypasses. It turns into like a... But hey, that's what they wanted. Filter Gatte, right? So, we got... we got to put evolving texture on it, right? Ooh, let's go get that preset. Evolving texture coming at you with preset number... Where's evolving texture? Evolving texture. Did I pass it? No. What number? 19. Thank you. It's like, I'm blind. I can't see it. All right, let's see how it sounds now. Ooh. Now it's really sounding funky. Y'all want to have fun, play with some of these parameters. Now, don't turn it in playing with them because we're looking at, all the settings and everything. But just for fun on your own, start playing with this and seeing how much fun modulation can be. It's a lot. You'll like it a lot. Oh, do you remember that movie? I like it a lot. All right. So Filter Gatte is plugged in. Number 8, load up the audio files located in the audio import folder. Name Funk Guitar into the session as a new track. Alrighty. So we're bringing you into a new track here. So check this out. I'm going to show you something else. Check it out. You've seen Steve drag it to the clips list. You've seen him drag it to the playlist. But have you seen Steve Kane drag an audio clip to the tracks list? I think not. But tonight, on this very night, you're about to swear, I swear, about that home. Oh, no, I messed that one up. That was an old school. Remember that one up? Slick Rick is on the mic, right? So check it out. Audio files for import. Funky guitar. Here we go. Now look, I'm going to drag it over the tracks. Have you ever seen Steve Kane drag it over to the clips list the tracks list and just drop it like a hot biscuit? All right, but now see how it dropped it in right here? It's going to always put it in underneath your highlighted track since we had that going on. Maybe I want it down underneath. Maybe that's where I want it. That's where I want it right there. So, I resized again. 3 fingers down, right? 3 fingers down. Let's listen to that funky guitar. Ooh, a little bit busy. So let's, what do you say we were like engineers and we're like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to impress my producer friend. I'm going to make a duplicate playlist. And I'm going to say, hey, when you were out to lunch, I decided to play around with my editing tools that homeboy Steve taught me, and I made some funky edits for you. I think you're going to like them. So let's go do this, right? So we created a duplicate playlist for the funk guitar. Let's name it Step 9. All right, so we imported it in as a new track. I just threw it over to the tracks list. So let's change it, get in guitar step 9. Let's knock that out. So guitar, funk guitar, duplicate. Let's take off that 01 and then just put step 9. Psh. Oh, look at that. I don't want a funk guitar. By the way, I just picked up a new air guitar last night. Oof. Man, that thing is so light. All right, hit OK. I can play it and just get new strings on it. I'm going to put nylon strings. I don't have an air guitar with nylon strings yet. All right, so we got that all going, right? Guitar step 9, right? You see it right there looking fine. And so what we're going to do in a grid mode, with a grid resolution set to 16th notes, we're going to select from 21480 to 22480. Let's do it right now. So we're not going to select here. We're going to select up here. /2. It is 2 to 3, right? 21480 to 22480. All right. /21480 to /22480, which lasts one full beat. It's got it highlighted. All right, so now that we've got it selected, and see how they've got both of them selected? You don't want to make sure. So if this is it, hold down Option and then re-click on it, right? Because Option takes them all off or all on. So you could take them all off and then just right there, right? So that's the easy way. All right. Now look, my people in my chat room are cutting up a little bit, and they're throwing out some cat puns, and those really freak me out. All right, so y'all need to stop that. Freak me out. I'm not kidding. Cat puns freak me out. So let me show you this right meow. That we've got this. We've got it selected. So they want us to copy it, and then they want to paste that selection to 2.3 and to 2.4. Now look at that. Hoodly doodly. We've got an exactly one beat selection, and we're going to copy that exact one beat selection, and we're going to paste it onto this beat and to this beat. Man, that's a great copy and paste. So we're going to hit C to copy. Well, bam! And then we're going to hit V to paste. And it said V to paste at 2.3 into 2.4. So we're going to go asterisk 2, 3. And look, it zeroes out. Boom. And when I do that, I'm going to hit V for paste. Whoa! Oh, but look, it was in shuffle mode. Ooh, shuffle mode. We forgot to change our mode. I hit Command Z. I do it over again. Who knows the quick key for the grid mode? That is right. I've got the option to go to that fourth box right there. So option 4. That's very good. And now I paste again. And now look, it overwrites it. Just like that, I go up to beat 4 like that. And I paste it again, simply hitting V, the power of V. And now let's listen to it. Ooh, I like that. It's like we took one beat from the middle and pasted it to create our own funky guitar. Now, I'm not a real fan of that. So that's stupid. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete from 12480 to 21. 12480. Simple // and right arrows to measure 2. And watch this. El delito. Bam! You are gone. And I simply hit delete. Now let's check it out. Ooh, now that sounded kind of cool. Let's see what the original sounded like. Yeah, I like what you did, homeboy Steve. You might be my new remix editor. Come on. Lay it to me one more time. I want to hear that funk guitar. How you gonna get it out? Let's go. Let's duplicate the thing. Let's duplicate it out. What? Okay, here we go. I know, isn't it crazy? So, copy and paste this selection. We did that. Create a duplicate playlist for folk guitar. Guitar step 10. Here we go. Command C. All right, now look at this. As we're doing this, check it out. They want that for step 10. We will give them step 10. Oh, how did I copy guitar again? I swear. My big old thumbs. All right, so for step 10, what we're going to do is select from 1, 3 to 3 of that fuck guitar. And for that 2-bar selection, we're going to duplicate it 3 times. All right, so check it out. Uno, dos, tres. Everything on the track. So we can make sure right up here, right, that it got our 2-part, and we're duplicating it, right? So who knows another way I could duplicate? Instead of duplicating 3 times, what's a way I could make an automatic duplication? Let me tell you this joke. Pete and Repeat were sitting on a fence. Pete fell off. Who is left? That's right, Repeat. So we can repeat that 3 times. Bada bing, bada boom. And then when I go uno, dos, tres, it's exactly 8 bars. Let's listen. Oh my goodness. Sounds so good. It sounds marvelous, darling. Marvelous. Ooh, Command S. I haven't saved all night. Can you believe that? And none of you guys told me to save. Man, what kind of interns have I got over here? All right, so let me tell you a little joke here. I mean, not a joke, a secret. Everybody lean up a little bit. You and your engineer are going to have a code word. And when you never want to have, you never want to tell your engineer something in front of the client like they're doing wrong. Like, hey, don't forget to save, right? So what you're going to do is, so Command S, right? So you're going to say, I'm just going to, our little thing, if I need to remind you or whatever, I'll say, dude, you're in command. And that's going to be your trigger to hit Command S. And that way you never make the engineer look bad. If you notice they've been working for a while, you say, you were commanding it, bro. And then they'll hit Command S. And then you just save their butt. And then they'll probably buy you lunch. All right? But you don't want to say in front of your clients, don't forget to hit save. Or don't forget it. Because then they're going to be like, who's this guy? I'm going to start hiring him. Right? So, all right, so that's there. Let me go up. I thought of one other thing I wanted to show you back here. Remember when we were trimming over here, and I had to use this? I want to show you what would happen in another way to do this up here in this clap. So let's go back. That was step 3. All right, so on our clap, step 3. Let me show you maybe a better way, because remember when I was doing this, I had to trim this up to get it to fit. Does everybody remember that? Yep. All right. So let me show you, because what happened here, and to be honest with you, I actually forgot this a little bit, and I was a little bit embarrassed. So anyway, but look, I wanted to show you something, because when I was thinking about that, I was going back, I was like, I probably shouldn't have needed to trim that, because check this out. Look at this. If I went to 4-2, and I went way in, I'm going to notice there's a lot of space in front of this clap, right? A lot of space right here. So check it out. What I should have done, thinking about it, is I should have hit tab, right? And that would have got me on the front. But I got a problem here, because now if I hold down shift tab, it's going to go grab everything, right? So here's what we do to get rid of that space there, right? So notice that because I'm in grid, I'm either going to have that exact space, and if we were to measure that, right, in slip mode, that space right there, that's like, where's our rulers? "14 milliseconds. Dude, you're going to hear that. That's gonna be like in this Haas zone, and you're going to start hearing some some crazy effects, like some weird stuff. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the clip right here. And now to go backwards, remember I told you you could Option Tab to go backwards? Now I'm going to hit Option Shift and Tab. And that gets it right there. Now what I'm going to do is I could cut it. And so I fix it properly, right? If I want to really get tight on it, instead of putting it at tick 21, I'm going to go back to tick 0 and then paste it there. And then that pops it right there, right? And then when I put it on 4.4, and all that, now look. So when I went to 4.4 and I paste, and then I went to 4.4.240, and I paste, right? But look, all these weird things start happening, right? So, and then 720. But then, look, then it never went over there. But I didn't get my full clap there, right? It was like it was cutting off, right? So, wonder what would happen if we did, like when we pasted it there, if we took that and we went ahead and went all the way out to like here, right, to our 240. Let's put ourselves in grid mode. To our 240 mark. If we went over here, it'd be too much, right? But if we went here, Shift Option Tab, cut and paste that right there at 4. 4 beat 4. And paste. And then 4, 240. 4, 4, 240. Paste. And then 4, 4, 720. Paste. And then see, it would have been right there, and it would not have been hanging off at all. All right. Now, I just wanted to kind of, as I was thinking about that, I just wanted to show you a couple different little ways to tweak, because what you're going to notice now, sometimes they might say, no, dude, I want that clap a little bit off, you know, and then you would need to do what we had done and trimmed up the back of it if they wanted that little, you know, that 14 milliseconds off, if they wanted that. So it's really depending on what your client wants. So I wanted just to show you that cool little trick of, since, you know, like I said, Thursday nights are the ones that go by a little quicker, so we're going to take every little moment to learn the back stuff, right? So with tab to transient on, right, it would go to this next transient when I hit tab and the next transient, or if I hold option tab, it goes to the previous transient, or if I hit shift and tab, it selects to the previous one or to the next one. If I hold option shift and tab, it selects back, words like that. So between tab, shift tab, option tab, and option shift tab, you're going to know all these. And so I got a great question coming up about keeping these videos after the class. The best thing to do is save the YouTube links. And that's going to be the best way, because you're going to be locked out of FSO after a certain time. So just save those YouTube links so you can watch these videos later on. All right, so let's go back here to step 10 and let's figure out how to turn that puppy in. All right, so we're back here. Everything was 8 bars and we were done. We hit File, Save, and now let's look at our turn-in instructions. Brought to you by Full Sail University. All right, so just like last week, save copy in. Now remember, a couple of you, I had to take off some points because you didn't name it right. And I had to give out a couple zeros because you forgot to click the audio files button. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a save copy in. Now, who wants to tell me the real world reason of why we save copy in? Why do I do it? Why do I do it? What does it do for me? What does it do for me? You see, right? It allows me to save everything. It's a backup, like I save a backup copy, and I've got to hit that audio files button. If you don't, guess who's getting a 0? Oh, I need to do that with I'll bring the delay back here in just a minute. Right? So, in that way, I can put it totally somewhere else on a separate hard drive. So, when I hit OK, in the real world, I would navigate to another hard drive. Just go to your desktop. Take the words copy of off. I do not want to see that. I'll take off points, and you know it. I'm not trying to turn this into confessional, man. Anyway, I've got somebody going like, me, you counted off me points. They're cussing at me. Actually, no, they're not. They're like, dude, if it wasn't for you taking points off for me, homeboy Steve, I would have never learned my lesson. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. May I have another? All right, so let's look and see what that does for us. It puts a beautiful, beautiful folder right there on our desktop. And this is what we're going to call our session folder, PTA2. Now, I don't want you to turn that in. I want you to compress it first. So we're going to right-click on it, and we're going to compress it. And now as it compresses, it gives you a pretty little zip file, and that pretty little zip file is what you're going to upload. Oh, somebody is sad that they've got a B, and I understand, man. I'll tell you what, I'm a short guy. When you meet me in real life, I'm like 5'4", but I hold that bar. When I hold the bar up, I get on my tippy toes, and I hold that bar up to the highest I can. So when you get an A in this class, you can like feel great about it. You're like, I got a freaking A in that class, and that was, homeboy Steve had me some learning, man. I was spending like 15 hours a week on that stuff. I'm just dilly-dallying a minute because I'm just getting my delay ready because everybody wants to hear it as we go over. I know they do. Don't you? All right, so let's make sure we did everything right. So we did our save copy and we clicked our audio files button, and then once we archived it, we made a zip file. And that's what you are going to upload by the due date. It just makes going through this rubric more fun. All right, so remember, if this assignment is submitted without audio files, meaning you didn't do save copy in, and you didn't click that audio files, you are going to be considered incomplete, and you will get a 0. No. Oh, now who knows what cartoon character I was going for when I went 0? Anybody remember that one from the old days? Space Ghost! Yeah, Space Ghost, man. All right. If you do not do these playlists exactly like we did, I promise you, and it's not going to be any of you guys. It's not going to be Brantley, Ed, James, Jeremy, John, Jonathan, Rachel, Ramel, Summer, Tyrone, or any of you guys, but something. Oh, Captain Caveman was a good one too. None of you guys are going to turn in this, but some of the ones that don't watch the video, they're going to turn in and they're going to duplicate all their tracks, and guess what they're going to get? 0. Oh, 0. Let's try that, Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman! You know what's funny is because I've got this pitch in my head, I'm wanting to always hit that. So when I wanted to, it didn't sound right because I've got what they call perfect relative pitch, meaning you tell me the first note and the second note, I'll tell you whatever it is. I can, hear stuff and all that. I hear stuff in my head. There was this accountant. He's like, dude, I'm hearing invoices in my head. All right. So don't get a zero. Don't get a zero. And don't, for the love of first names and last names, don't flip and miss these 10 points either with that darn copy of, or putting your last name first, saying like, dude, every class I got it, just put it, last name was. All right. We imported that funk bass track. We clapped and pasted in measure 3. We clapped and pasted in measure 4. We made sure that we did not go over when we were pasting. We used the trim tool up, or we pasted exactly and took it off the offbeat and put it exactly on there. All right. We're going to duplicate them for 8 bars. All right. And then to clean it up, we consolidated it for 8 bars. We put filter gate. Oh, let's try that one. Filter gate. We put filter gate on. Oh, it was properly instantiated. That's a great word. Instantiated. All right. For the proper funk bass track, we got that. We brought in our funk guitar. We did some paste and some deletes, and then we duplicated it for 8 bars. And that's how I'm going to make up that 100 points. So let me know if you've got any questions. And as always, I'm going to be sticking around here after the archive for my live audience, helping everybody out. But any questions about this assignment before we go? Before we go! Yes. Now everybody in the archive is like, what was the question? What did he say yes to? It was, can we set up a meeting tomorrow? So yeah, stick around here in just a minute. All right, well, if there is no questions for you, I am going to leave you with one last nice question. Do you know how to keep moles from digging in your garden? You just got to hide the shovel. All right, everybody. With that, I pledge you a great weekend. Hope you have a fabulous one. I hope it is beautiful and sunny wherever you are. I will be back here Tuesday night with you at 7 p.m. working on our remix. So for Full Sail University and Audio Workstations, this is Steve Kane, and as always, peace out.